Comments made on the following paid commercial program are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time.
Welcome to the Money and Wealth Show. On the program this week, tax tips with David Ingram, money commercials, and our special guest, Adrian Mastracci.
It's all about money. At the HowStreet.com Money Expo in Kamloops and Kelowna, see Garth Turner, Michael Levy, Ross Clark, David Smith, and Doug Casey. To attend free, pre-register now at HOWEStreet.com or register at the door.
Welcome to the Money and Wealth Show. I'm Sterling Fox, and our special guest this week is back with us for his second appearance. He is Vancouver Portfolio Manager, Financial Advisor, and President of KCM Wealth Management, Adrian Mastracci. Welcome back, Adrian. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Sterling.
Tell us a little bit about, you sent me a note that arrived just moments before we rolled cameras here, about September, this month, back in 1929. Tell us about the details that you sent me.
Yes, in 1929, September 3rd, the Dow Jones Industrial Average hit the high for that time, and then never saw that high again for 25 years until 1954.
Wow, because when we think of 1929, of course, we think October and the crash and all of that stuff, but of course, crashing from where? And so just a short month, 6 weeks maybe earlier, before the crash, the market was at an all-time high.
That's right, it was, and it took about 4 years before it really hit the low. And then it took the next 21 years to come back to the high.
So in those tea leaves, can you extrapolate forward to September 2010 and make any pronouncements on the state of the economy? I doubt we're on the verge of a monstrous crash a la 1929, but how are we doing?
Well, I certainly hope not, but I think what you have to look at from 1929 first is that long can be really long, in that case 25 years. Mm-hmm. And here we are again where in the U.S. jobs are not that plentiful. Things could get rocky, and you could be looking at a very long, low kind of response type economy for a number of years.
Well, let's talk about the summer of 2010 now that it's behind us and the kids are back to school. What sort of readings do you take on this summer in terms of activity in the marketplace? And, well, let's start with jobs, because the U.S. job numbers for August are out, and they're not particularly great, are they?
Well, no, they're not. By this time in the recession, you would think you'd be getting some job creations of, let's say, 200,000, 250, 300 or so.
Per month?
Per month,
yeah.
In the U.S. Well, the last job creation that we got was a minus 54,000 jobs, so we're nowhere near. And it takes 150,000 jobs in the U.S. just to keep up to the population growth. And if you want to reemploy, let's say, a half of the 8.4 million that have lost their jobs since December 2007, you're looking at around 125,000 or so. And if you want to reemploy everybody, you're looking at around 230,000 per month more. So your range is somewhere between, let's say, 260,000 to 380,000 jobs, and we are nowhere near that.
All right, now that does in turn spill over into behavioral issues. And on the same day the U.S. job numbers came out, Adrian, we also saw some confidence numbers out of both Canada and the United States. And consumer confidence in America, we know, is waning. We've seen the real estate market realities and the unemployment numbers. But it's significant, I think, to note that consumer confidence numbers in Canada are beginning to taper off. It's not serious yet, but there is an erosion of confidence north of the 49th.
Well, that's true, and I think you can explain that by saying that we are a little better off than the U.S. We're probably about, say, 3 to 6 months better off than they are. So what that means is if the U.S. hits a rough patch, we've got 3 to 6 months to sort of work ourselves out, and then we'll be reasonably well in tune by the end of those 3 to 6 months. But yes, the U.S. certainly does have a little difficulty with some of that.
What's that going to do to credit in both countries, America first and then Canada?
Well, neither one of them really wants credit. In the U.S., people are actually going back to saving. I hear figures of up to 6% per year is now being saved, where just a few months ago there was virtually zero.
Exactly. Yeah.
Canada is much the same way. We weren't as indebted as the U.S. was, but Canada doesn't want the loans either. And in the U.S., there's something. It's been reported they have at least a couple of $1 trillion sitting in banks, which has to be loaned, is looking for a home, and nobody wants it. So it's not the easy situation.
Well, I think perhaps people have warmed up to the fact that in recessionary times, Adrian, being debt-free or approaching that level is really where it's at, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. I think being debt-free gives you a few more options. You can certainly put that cash flow to other things, and if you have to do something to your total debt load, you can do it gradually and simply. But if you got a whole bunch of it, which we did, both here in Canada and in the U.S., certainly that's how you get into trouble. And because it took about 10 years to get to that stage, it's probably going to take possibly just as long to get out of it.
Now, in North America, so both our countries, since the beginning of 2010, over $33 billion in mutual funds have been cashed in and redeemed. Where's all that money gone?
Probably to pay off some of those debts.
I wouldn't be surprised. It'd be a good decision if that's where it went, right?
It certainly would be. I think some people had to maybe looked at some real estate and bought a few of those cheaper places to live. But I think much of it went to debt. Some of it went to just living, because of course there were something like 8.5 million people that lost their jobs.
Yes.
So I'm sure that some of them had to go and raid the kitty and support themselves. So it's not an easy situation to be at.
Our special guest this week on the Money and Wealth Show is Portfolio Manager Adrian Mastracci. Lots more to come. Please stay with us.
Good afternoon. My name's Larry Ray. I'm the President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc. I'm here to tell you today that American Manganese could possibly bring in the lowest cost electrolytic manganese metal mine in North America. It'll be the first one in the past few decades. What is manganese? Well, you can't have a steel industry without manganese. If you don't have manganese, you don't have steel. If you don't have steel, the world stops. North America has no manganese. We depend on our neighbors and other countries to import our manganese, and it just doesn't make any sense we don't exploit the resources in our own country. So I'm here to tell you that we are moving ahead with the feasibility study, we're moving ahead with the environmental studies, and we're moving ahead with a massive drill program in order to build the American Manganese, Inc. into the first primary electrolytic manganese producer in the United States. Please visit our website at americanmanganeseinc.com or call us at 604-531-9639. Thank you.